欢迎各位莅临由台湾观光协会举办的观光产业趋势系列活动。台湾观光协会呢，自1956年成立以来呢，积极的将国外的旅客拉进台湾。那此外呢，也积极的跟各国的官方或是民间企业交流互动。那此外呢，我们也扮演着台湾观光业界以及政府的沟通桥梁。那今天呢，我们为了提升对于观光业界以及会员的服务，我们特别办理了观光产业趋势系列活动。那希望呢，可以将更多世界的观光趋势跟动向带进台湾，能够与各位一同来思考台湾观光的新未来。那现在在我们讲座的一开始，先让我们来有请台湾观光协会的会长叶菊兰叶会长为我们致辞，掌声有请。
我们今天非常感谢的 Professor Noel Scott， 我们苏副会长，我们 TVA 秘书长，吴秘书长，各位我们 TVA 的董事、TVA 的会员，以及我们旅行业者，各位很多的理事长、董事长，旅行业我们很多的基层工作同仁。大家午安，大家好。今天是礼拜六，然后大家利用休假的时间，那么愿意来参加 TVA 这个有关观光产业趋势活动的第一场的演讲。大家非常的用心，想要思考，这个怎么样子打造更好的观光未来。大家非常的辛苦，非常谢谢大家的参加。这是第一场，我们还会有好几场。我们希望每年、每季我们都会有更精彩的相关的趋势活动，在苏副会长的努力协助组成之下，那么应该会精彩可期。这是我作为 TVA 的会长的期待。那大家都非常知道，观光在不管是在文化也好，生活面向也好，对于经济的成长也好，都是一个非常重要的一个关键。每一个国家都非常重视观光。那事实上 ，UNWTO 的统计可以知道，就是2017年，那么整个观光产业，那么观光的人口，它的成长非常的快。那么前年如果没有讲错的话，一年有13亿2千的人次在全球各地做旅行、做观光，那么是2010年以来是最高的。好，这个是一个趋势。我想这个趋势还会持续不断的成长，因为全球化，那么在移动的这样的一个在不管是科技也好，资讯的协助之下，那么团客的移动或者是个人的移动，年轻世代的移动都会非常的频繁，所以将来只会更加的成长只会更快哈。那就是刚刚我讲的，因为资讯跟科技的改变那么的大，所以呢，整个的这个旅游的形态是不一样的。在我小的时候，那么我们的旅游非常的单纯。那到一个国家1个月的旅行，跟着旅行团。可是现在完全不同。好，所以这样的一个旅行的观光形态的改变，世界各国每一个业者都在注意，都在关心这样的一个改变。每一个国家都在争取这些移动的观光人口，所以呢，观光协会作为一个台湾观光的推广的平台，好，那么我们常在世界各地办旅展，那么我们也看到世界各国在办旅展的时候所呈现出来的各种不同的产品，他们国家的形象，那么我们要怎么样创造自己台湾独特的魅力，让全世界人知道台湾是不一样的。 刚刚Professor Noel 就跟我讲，说每一个人都说我的观光是不一样的，但是事实上从某一些原理来讲，其实大家面对的问题是一样的。所以我们要如何让所有来到台湾的人，他们留下深刻的印象，从此对台湾产生永远的偏好？好，这个是一个很大的课题。其实我去年1月我来接台湾观光协会以来，我就一直在关注这个问题。那我们我在2000年的时候，我在担任交通部长的时候，我就看到台湾观光在推广费用的不足，台湾在基础设施上以观光的游客中心为中心，那么我们在打造一个不错的旅游环境。但是对国际推广来讲，其实我们坦白讲，等于没有什么在积极的推动。那2000年以后，观光局开始努力的在世界各国用比较多一点点的经费在做推广的工作，但是仍然是不足的。经费有了要怎么做？如何推动？这才是一个非常大的课题。你要怎么建立台湾的品牌印象？你要怎么样让不认识台湾的人理解认识台湾？你要怎么样理解认识台湾以后，让他知道说，哇，我好喜欢台湾。然后因为我好喜欢台湾，我知道台湾，我理解台湾，我喜欢台湾以后，我才愿意来台湾。我采取行动来了台湾以后，留下什么样的印象？这一些印象会影响我再度愿不愿意来台湾，这些印象也会影响我们愿不愿意推荐我们的亲戚朋友来台湾。我现在在讲的是英镑的市场。事实上，招揽让国家这个我们讲的英镑来讲的话，好，我们讲无烟囱创业奖，澳镑很重要。但是英镑现在世界各国都在抢英镑，每一个国家都在抢观光客的时候，这一点就是此时这一刻，我们为什么要请 Dr. Noel 来讲？你要怎么样展现台湾？你要怎么样子进行各种不同的产品规划？好，这些东西。所以我去年来我就说，我要加强内部同仁的 training， 我希望能够在我们的同仁在专业知识上不断的提升，可以跟观光局一起做一个 partnership。那我们希望让我们的会员朋友以及我们的产业朋友们也跟着，可以随着时代的不同，跟着不同的旅游环境的改变、旅游人口的改变，然后大家跟着来有所调整。过去不是不好，过去是基础，但如何随着不同的环境、不同的竞争的产生，业者也要跟着改变。观光绝对是全民运动，观光绝对不是一个观光局、交通部，观光也不是只有业者，观光是每一个人心中，我讲的观光主流化，每一个人心中都有观光。我讲过很多次，路人来跟你问路，当你表现很好的态度的时候，其实你就是做观光的推广员，你就是在建立这个游客对台湾的品牌印象跟品牌偏好。所以这些都需要大家不断的透过论坛或者是讲座，大家来提升。所以今天我们非常高兴的请到我们澳洲具有实务跟学理的这样的基础的 Dr. Noel， 是他真的是国际级的大师，他到世界各国去谈如何打造品牌，那如何设计产品等等那么今天要谈的主题是品牌印象的建立以及体验型的观光要怎么样子来塑造，这是第一炮而已啦。所以我要想说，今天大家利用假日来，希望大家不虚此行。那么这是一个累积的。我跟 Dr. Noel 讲说，我们 TVA 办的一个除了 ITF 办论坛以外，那么明年 我们持续会进行相关的这样的一个论坛、专业的分享、讲座。那这样的东西，我是希望是可以累积下来的，让我们业者可以有循序看着不同的这个根据不同的议题、不同的需求，我们来让自己本身的实力更强。台湾队绝对不是观光局一个，观光的成功绝对不是一个公务人员、一个公务单位，观光绝对是全员动员的。所以我个人这个也旅行世界各地，我也自己也过去从事广告传播行销的工作，我知道我们不足的地方在哪里。所以我说，不管我在或不在这个单位，但是我相信协会 TVA 会把这样的一个论坛趋势活动，最少第一个3年应该是打好基础，然后再去设计第2个3年，台湾的观光需要什么样子专业的知识，业者需要如何的精进，全民要如何的参与，这些是一个很重要的功课，我们大家共同来努力。我们再一次谢谢 Dr. Noel， 他愿意来参加，利用百忙时间他晚上就要离开，他还是非常的匆忙，今天才从台中赶过来，所以我再一次谢谢Dr. Noel， 也谢谢苏副会长的努力，也谢谢各位的参与，谢谢大家。
非常谢谢会长为我们带来的勉励。那接下来呢，就让我们有请台湾观光协会的副会长苏成田苏副会长为我们介绍今天的讲座内容，掌声有请。
会长，Professor Scott， 各位先生、各位女士，大家午安哈。那由我来跟大家介绍一下 Professor Scott 的那个profile 哈。那 Professor Scott 呢，他现在是澳洲这个 Griffith University 的一个教授，同时也是他们的观光学院的副院长哈。那 Griffith University 呢是在1971年创设的，怎么不动啊？你替我按好了 ，OK。它是这个在2004，就是在 Queensland 这个地方的一所大学，1971年创立的。那它这个学校现在有44000人，有5个校区啊。那他们的观光领域的这个教学排次来讲，在世界排次在10名以内，好像是第8。那这个Professor Scott 他是在2004年的时候 Queensland 大学的博士哈，之后他就到这个学校去担任教授，而且就是现在是这个 Griffith Institute for Tourism 的 Deputy Director， 就等于副院长一样的哈。那他这个在观光这个领域做过的研究超过20年。事实上，他在教学之前，2000年之前，他是在 Queensland 的观光委员会里面做一个研究员的工作哈，所以他实务经验也是先从业界的实务经验这个地方，再到学界这边来哈。那他的专长领域是在 Tourism Branding， 在 Destination Management、Tourism Experience Design 跟这个中国旅游这一块，他也协助了蛮多的哈。怎么不动啊？麻烦一下你按 ，OK， 又回去了。这个对不起，对，好，那这个是下面再下一张，下一张 ，OK。那除了刚才简单的背景之外，我特别到这个 Google 上面去 Google 一下，他的著作非常多，他写过9本书，有超过100篇的 papers。那他最擅长的领域就是 destination branding 这一块，他的论文或者书本被 cited 被引用的那个次数啊。那么这个排序在这个地方你可以看Destination and Enterprise Management for Tourism Future 有477次哦，然后 Network Analysis Tourism 457次 ，Destination Network 369，那么最后 Power of Destination Branding 也有190哦， 所以呢，在这个领域里头，他是世界上的知名的人士了哈。下一张，然后呢，他尤其是在这个所有的这个被引用的这个领域最多的部分，就是 destination management 这一块。这一块他在所有很多学者当中，他引用是排序第1名哦，在 Google Professor 这上面哈。那今天我们非常荣幸能够有机会邀请到他来哈，这个下一个对，能够这个这一张跳过去了，刚才已经讲过哈 ，OK。他今天早上其实是应台中市政府有一个论坛，研讨会叫做这个台中学现在变成一个学门，台中学国际研讨会里面的一个 keynote speaker， 他硬要去到那个地方去就 city branding 做了一个专题演讲。那他的场次是11点钟，那演讲完了以后，我们马上把他接过来。其实他今天就晚上就要飞回澳洲去哈。那我们就把握这个机会呢，就情商他到台北来，为我们这个 TVA 的第1场这个今年度的论坛跟这个演讲会呢，那个打第1炮。那我们现在就热烈鼓掌来欢迎他。他今天的题目呢，就是 destination branding 跟这个 experience design 哈，来 ，yes。
好，非常谢谢我们苏副长为我们各位来说明。好，那相信待会我们讲座的内容一定是非常的精彩，可以让大家收获满满，满载而归。那接下来我们在讲座开始前呢，我们要先颁发感谢状给我们今天就是非常的辛苦从澳洲来的一个讲者 Noel。好，我们今天呢就请我们的同仁递我们的感谢状，然后请会长来递感谢状。好，再次呢非常感谢我们的 Noel Professor 那么辛苦的从澳洲来到台湾来为对各位做分享。好，我们可以看到前面的镜头，一起来记录这个重要的时刻。好，非常谢谢。那也请我们的会长跟副会长，我们可以先回座。会长，我们可以先回座啊。对。因为今天呢是我们的观光产业趋势活动的第1场讲座，所以可以说是一个非常重要的时刻。因此现在呢，我要邀请现场所有的长官以及贵宾，待会呢我们的摄影大哥会站在这边，会为各位拍一张大合照。那也请各位呢露出你最灿烂的笑容，那或者是有最活泼的姿势，都可以在这时候表现出来。好，我们推广台湾观光最重要的就是热情。好，我们来对一下镜头，来为各位倒数一下哦。好，来1、2、3 ，Say cheese。好，非常谢谢。好，那我们今天的讲座活动就正式开始。那现在呢？我请各位呢借给我你的双手，让我们拿出台湾人的热情，用最热烈的掌声来欢迎我们今天的主讲者 Professor Noel 上台，掌声欢迎。
Thank you. Well, it's wonderful to be here. Thank you very much, Chairman Ye and Vice Chairman Xu, for the invitation to come to talk to you. I feel very privileged to talk at the first of what I think will be a very useful series of educational talks to the industry. So the first thing I want to say is sorry, okay? I have to say sorry because I can't speak Chinese. I can say 2 things. Mea Guanchi, and Shay Shay. So apologies, I have to speak in English, but I'll try and speak slowly so that you understand, or if I can communicate better. So I think this slide explains some of the background, and Vice Chairman should just explain that. So the only thing I want to explain now. I'll get it. No. It doesn't. I'm having trouble here. I'm holding, please. Okay, back. So the only thing I wanted to say here, this is marketing, because I think you said that Griffith was number 9, but we like to say somewhere in the first 10, and I said number 2. Okay. But also, I have had quite a number of years. I'm older than I look. I know you think I'm young, but I have worked for maybe 25 years in tourism, and before that, I worked in a bank and in other industries, but always looking from the customer side and always looking at research. So when I think about industries or problems in tourism, I think about the customer side and what customers want, and I think about basing my knowledge on research and collecting information. So that's just my background. So the first thing when I think about talking about tourism is I think about understanding the marketplace and how it's changing. And the interesting thing is that the tourism industry is changing rapidly. You know, when I first started, I got the first internet connection in the organisation I was working in, Queensland Tourist and Travel Corporation. So in 1997, there was no internet. And now, the internet is essential for travel. When I started, our main market for tourism in Australia was America, or maybe England. Now, well, last year, the main market in terms of spending and number of visitors to Australia is China. So everything is changing. And even if we start thinking about the China market, not just the numbers of people travelling, but also how they are travelling is changing. So I think it's really important to understand the marketplace. Now, many people in the audience, who works in a travel agency? Yeah? Oh, come on, you've got to hold your hand up, come on. Okay, good. And who works in government? Good. And who works in a university? Where do the rest of you work? I don't. So you will often, especially those people who are working in the industry in tourism or travel, will have an understanding of how the markets are changing. let's have a look. Can we? So here are just some of the trends that I picked out to talk about. Firstly, from group to FIT. So FIT, free and independent travel. So this is something that happens in every country. When I was younger and Australians were starting to travel to Europe, they would go on a group tour. There was a company called Top Deck Travel. Has anyone heard of Top Deck Travel? It was an Australian company, and it became very famous for taking groups of young people around Europe. You would see 10 countries in 7 days. Right? Now, people are travelling, after Australians travelled for the first time, or perhaps the second time, in a group, they became confident and started to travel as independent travellers, arranging their own accommodation and their own flights. So every country, every outbound market changes over time from group to FIT. And we saw that in Australia with the Japanese market. Japanese market starts group, is now people who are returning. Of course, there is always group business, but it's more free and independent travel. And that's what we see in the China market in Australia. The mainland Chinese market has gone from 95% group business to maybe 65% group on the Gold Coast. That's where I mainly know about. So the Gold. Does anyone know where the Gold Coast is? Thank you, Vice Chairman. Does anyone not know? Everyone knows. All right, well, let's say it. Can you just hold your hands up in the air? No, both hands. All right? You have to say, Gold Coast is the best part of Australia. Why are you laughing? So I come from the Gold Coast, and I know a little bit about that. So on the Gold Coast, it's a sun and sand destination. We see a change from group to FIT for the mainland Chinese market. Before that, we saw a change from group to FIT for the Japanese market, and so on. So that's a trend that's occurring. The other thing, and Chairman Ye said it, the market is growing. So there will be, next year, more people travelling, especially in Asia and the Pacific. So this is the growth market, and it's growing mainly because the economics of the Asian countries are growing. So as a country's GDP increases, so as GDP increases, the number of trips per person changes rapidly. So for every small change in GDP, you get an increase in the number of trips taken. So therefore, if the gross national product or the gross regional product of Asia increases next year, then you will get many more tourists. So what does that mean? That means that every country is expecting to get more visitors, and they are starting to realise the importance of tourism for visitor spending and for their own economy. And therefore, they are starting to invest in tourism. So I've had some involvement in Indonesia. Who knows Bali? Barley, yeah? So Indonesia is currently planning 10 new barleys. 10 new barleys. Lake Toba, Lombok, Yogyakarta. It's got 10 new places that it wants to make exactly the same as, not exactly the same in terms of like barley as a tourist, but it wants to make them as big as barley. So that's what you're facing. And in Thailand, it used to be that everyone who went to Thailand went to Bangkok. Now they go to Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Phuket, and so on. So not only are you getting competition between countries, but you're getting competition between parts of countries, between different destinations within a country. And in Australia, the Gold Coast, which is the best part of Australia, is competing with Sydney and Melbourne and Cairns and Perth and Darwin. So we have to try and make our country and our destinations different from other countries and other destinations. That means we have to spend money, and that's increasing competition. So not only will tourism grow in terms of numbers, but tourism competition will grow as different governments realise the value and make spending in terms of marketing, product development, infrastructure development, aviation to encourage tourism to their place. How do they do it? Well, when I first started in Tourism Queensland, or Queensland Tourist and Travel Corporation at the time, all of our funding, all of our marketing was spent on television advertising and newspapers, maybe radio. Now, there is no money spent on television, radio, newspaper. It's all spent on social media. So that's a big change. And importantly, that means that you need new skills in the industry. So who knows how to program a website? Does anyone know how to develop a website? Yeah? Oh, I saw you do. Yeah. Good. So you'll do well. But these are new skills that you need to think about. There's another interesting trend, one that I think about a lot. It's based on the idea, how many cars do you have? How many cars do you have at home? How many cars? 1? 0. Okay. How many? So you look rich. Oh, 2. All right. 2. Anyone got 3? No one wants to say. 4? 10? No. It's very hard, or it would be silly or not very useful to have 10 cars. But if I said, how many people want to travel 10 times in a year, everyone would say, oh, that's good. Okay? So that's the difference between a product. I didn't touch that, I promise. I didn't. Can we go back? No, back. Yeah, so that's the difference between a product and an experience, okay? So what people want these days, 50 years ago, people would cook their own food at home. Then they moved to services. They would go to a restaurant to have food. Now you want to go to a upmarket experiential restaurant. That's all part of the idea that as people's money, the amount of money they have increases, their spending moves from products and services towards experiences. And of course, tourism is the essential, it's the most interesting experience industry for people. So that's again why tourism will grow, but why you have to think of showing people, telling people about what's new and different and unique about your destination. When you were in the group business, it was about sightseeing often. If you're in the FIT experience business, then it's about showing people a unique and memorable experience. Okay? So how do you do that? It's very, very difficult. And indeed, perhaps in future, or even perhaps now, having an experience is not enough. Now we want to transform ourselves through travel. We want to come... who has watched or read Eat, Pray, Love? Eat, Pray, Love. All the girls, all the women putting up their hand. So Eat, Pray, Love is about a woman who goes traveling for a long time to change and to transform and perhaps to become more spiritual. So we are moving even from a novel or unique experience to wanting transformation. So that's why I talk about spirituality and wellness as something that we might want in future. So here on the right is a picture of, you see, I'll talk about this. It used to be that people got sick. People had a medical problem. But now our hospital systems are so good that you don't have to really get sick, or very few people get sick from problems they didn't cause themselves. So the problems we get sick from now are too much eating, not enough exercise, stress, and so on. So this is why people want wellness when they travel. So you have to, even medicine is changing. Medicine is changing from going to a hospital to have an operation to going to a wellness experience to change the way you live. Interesting. Okay, could we, next? All right, so this is why experiences are important, and tourism is an experience industry. What you produce in tourism, smiles, and memories. That's what you're producing. And therefore you have to know how to produce smiles and how to produce happy memories. And it's really interesting because when people are thinking about their holiday before they travel, they get all these wonderful ideas. They dream about what they're going to have. They fantasize. They talk about a dream holiday or a slice of the perfect life. That's what people expect on their holiday. And then, of course, you go on your holiday and you go to a hotel and it's okay, and you go to an airport and it's okay, and you go and you get tired and you travel on trains. And so you have some interesting experiences, but then when you go home, you forget about all the ordinary things and you only remember the key memorable things that happen. So tourism is about creating fantasies, giving a person a holiday, and then getting people to remember some parts of that holiday. That's the psychology of it. So tourism is mostly hedonic, pleasurable. If you want to make people smile or to remember things, you encourage them to feel emotion and you tell them stories. So tourism is a business that creates fantasies through emotion and stories that lead to memorable experience. And I haven't talked about hotel rooms or airlines or attractions. They happen. I want you to think about how a tourist thinks, not what they do. So tourism experience is about creating memories. Here's an example. This is from mainland China. And I know that mainland China is a terrible place. Oh, no. I didn't mean that. But this is an interesting idea. This is in Shanghai. There's a restaurant there. And to get into the restaurant, you walk up some stairs and there are 9 holes in the wall. Has anyone been here? The People's Restaurant. To get in there, you have to put your hand into one of those holes, and there are 9 choices. And if you put your hand in the wrong one, a door opens, and there's a mirror, and you see yourself. Oh, and you go, oh. And then, if you put your hand in the right one, then this door opens, and you can go into the restaurant. So they have made opening the door of a restaurant an experience. So if you're creative, you can create experiences anywhere, out of anything. This is an experience now. In fact, sometimes when I want people to remember my lecture, I ask them to sing. And that's about engaging people and getting them to remember by having emotion. But I won't do that today, I promise. So, another trend. So even within the mainland Chinese market, perhaps here in Taiwan, I don't know that so well, the market is changing quickly. And increasingly, people are talking about the millennial market in China. These are the young people in China who have plenty of money, and so at Griffith University we have students from China, and when I spoke to them 10, 15 years ago, I would say, would you like to go surfing? Would you like to go skydiving? Skydiving. Has anyone been Jim, you haven't been skydiving? No, neither have I. But everyone would say, no, that's too dangerous. But now, I was talking to some people from a group of Chinese people about a month ago, and I asked them, would you like to go surfing? And they went, oh, yes, that'd be very interesting. And I said, anyone wants to go skydiving? And 1 or 2 people put their hands up. So that's an example of how much even the young Chinese market, the millennial market, is changing and has changed over 10 years. Another thing that millennials are interested in is social things. They want to sort of contribute to society, or someone was talking about volunteering things. There's a sort of an interest in those sort of activities, but I won't talk about that. This is, again, this trend about health and wellness. And that market Lynn told me that this is a very complicated diagram, so I'm sorry, but you could think about health and wellness as changing from the sickness market to the wellness market, and how there are many different products within the health and wellness sector. Some are more about medical tourism, and many more spas and saunas, massage and fitness and beauty and anti-aging. They're more about the wellness market. So again, the market is changing and more people are looking for health and wellness and in fact spirituality. And that's how I ended up here, isn't it, Lynn? Because Dr. Chen, who's I was lucky enough to supervise as a PhD student. Do you understand? In her PhD, studied mindfulness and meditation as a tourism product. Very interesting. So that's I think one direction that the market is going into. So if there are trends, if the market is changing, then we need to think about selling or giving people products and experiences which are new and different. If we think that we can still sell the same product that we sold 20 years ago, well, maybe we can. I mean, hotel rooms haven't changed much, but perhaps the attractions that people visit may have changed. So as I said, we're going from group to independent. People are looking for new and interesting experiences. Therefore, we need to understand what people want from a holiday. And I think, personally, that any tourism experience can be improved to make it more happy and more memorable. So, and you can do that, one way to do it is to make your tourism products more engaging, more producing more emotion and involving people in the tourism products. So how do you do that? I don't want to go into this. This is quite complicated, but this is the idea that a customer, a visitor to Taiwan will, or a visitor to a hotel, it doesn't matter, will go through a whole series of interactions and experiences over their visit. Some will be pretty boring. Some will be memorable and wonderful. And you can therefore talk to your customers and understand which ones are memorable, which ones are producing emotion, and by doing that, you can perhaps improve your experience. And you can do that for Taiwan visit as a whole, or for a visit to a hotel or an attraction. Thank you. Here's an example from Australia of how camping and caravanning has changed over time. So when I was about 30, but before this, everyone who went to a caravan or a camping business in Australia would either bring their own caravan or have a tent. And then, about 30 years ago, there was this new innovation in Australia where they started putting these cabins. And those cabins, pretty basic. They had a couple of beds. Probably they had an indoor toilet. and maybe washing facilities and maybe a little kitchen. And those were revolutionary at the time. They changed the nature of the caravan and camping from everyone having caravans to often caravan parks using these cabins. Very interesting. But then later, we moved from these cabins to more unusual cabins. So here, does anyone know what this is? That's from Lord of the Rings in New Zealand. And in some places you can stay in that. Thank you. So in some places you can actually stay in a hobbit house. Very interesting. And of course, this next one, is even more interesting. Who would like to stay here? Oh, you would? You would? Yeah? Oh, come on, now wait a minute. I'm not sure. Because that's a long way up. And for me, I'm not interested, but I said to my son, who's about 25, 27, I said to him, would you like to stay there? And he said, oh, yes. It'd be so exciting. I can't understand it. Why would you want to stay in this thing? It'd be so uncomfortable. Look, there's no toilet. I don't know what they do. But it's an example of how even camping is moving towards more experiential, being more experiences. Mm-hmm. I should do it. Oh, yes. So here's another example. This is, again, from Australia. Has anyone been to Uluru? Come on, who's been there? One person? Two? No? Two? One? That's very bad. I want you all, repeat after me. I will go to Uluru next year. Oh, you want me to come back to it. It's competition. Right? So, again, when I first was a boy, I went to Uluru and we camped and we went sightseeing. Okay? And it's interesting. I spent 3 days there, and the first half of the day was quite interesting. And after that, I was bored. But now, they have developed from sightseeing to providing different experiences for people. So you can sit under the stars and have dinner as the sun sets, looking at Uluru. And as Lynn will tell you, that's more memorable for people. And this is interesting. There's Uluru here, and at night they have what they call the Field of Stars. So they have put little lights in the ground which are solar powered, and so you go and you look at the lights. It's turned looking at Uluru into an interesting experience. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here's another one. What about we turn a city into a beach? So in Brisbane, so everyone, before you go to Uluru, you're going to come to Brisbane or the Gold Coast, and you can go here for free. So they created a beach in Brisbane. Why did they do that? You know why? Because one of the competitors for Brisbane, for tourism, is only 60 kilometres away. It's called the Gold Coast. So Brisbane and the Gold Coast, both part of Queensland, are fighting for customers. Gold Coast is about beach. So the people in Brisbane said, oh, we'll have a beach. Yeah? And so now you can have a beach holiday without going to the beach. And of course, Brisbane gets more visitors. Competition. Here's another one. This is designing tourism experiences based on Aboriginal myths and legends and culture. So I think, and I've experienced with Lynn some of this in Australia, but what you see is people in small groups having their face painted or learning about how the local people lived. So that's a way of creating or co-creating with the customer interactions and telling people stories, myths and legends. Now let's see if we can try and get this, click this link here. Can we see if that works? Okay, so this is quite a long YouTube video, but it's not from Australia, it's from India. But it's, let's go a little bit further on. Yeah, so what it is a story of people in Karelia, which is in southern India, and how the destination or the people in this destination are helping the visitor to have a good experience. So the story is that this woman, it's her birthday, okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
And she's sad because she's on holidays and not with her friends.
It's her birthday tomorrow.
And the interesting thing is that this man who works in as a tour person, he learns that, and he then does some things with them to make it a more memorable holiday. Don't worry, that's okay. You'll get this video. It'll be a chance for you to look at it. But what it is, it's using a video to tell a story,
Honestly,
to encourage people to go. Okay?
I thought you'd be happy.
So this is a form of marketing which is about helping people to understand what sort of experiences they can have in this destination. Okay, so let's stop there now. But so it's an example of how people are moving towards marketing experiences using social media. This is good. I really like this one. Has anyone been here? Hainan Island. Anyone been here? What about here? So here's the thing. I went to Hainan Island, and everyone was going, oh, it's very interesting. Look at that rock. Oh, it's fantastic. Why is that interesting? And apparently there's a big story about how people from old China would be exiled to this island and have to stay there. And these are the poems or the recording of their sadness at being exiled. Very interesting story. But I didn't understand it because I don't have all the history and culture of China. But I understand this one. This one is easy. There are some stories that I saw as a child about Mickey Mouse and about the Magic Kingdom, and I can imagine myself there having a good time. What does that mean? That means that a person who has never heard about a place has trouble engaging with it and won't find it interesting. But a person who knows the background and is familiar with it will be having a good time. And the problem is that many people from mainland China come to Australia and don't know about the history of Australia. So we don't give them a good time. So that's our problem. Our problem is we need to better communicate to our new visitors to tell them stories. This is a way, I think it's a good example of how you can turn something quite ordinary into an experience. So this is an Australian traditional Outback breakfast. People would cook on a fire and they would boil water, make tea, cook their eggs, and it would be that was just the normal way of doing things. But in this place, Andara Lodge, it's the name of the hotel, they sell that breakfast as a tour. And lots of people pay $50 to have breakfast in a traditional setting. An example of taking a breakfast and making it into an interesting experience. How am I going? 20, oh, God, I better go. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is you need to design your products. Think about the experiences or products that you offer to customers as things which create delight and emotion, and then that's what you market to people. That's your branding. You include those things in your branding. So don't just think about your promotion or marketing based on existing products. Think about products, marketing and promotion based on interesting experiences that tell stories, create emotion, and produce memories. So this is a bridge, and they turned it into a experience. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I did as a project a couple of years ago for the Queensland Tourist and Travel Corporation, or Tourism and Events Queensland, was to create some material, some handbooks that people from industry can read to help them to create experiences. So I've left that there for you. There's a series of workbooks that you can get. You might like to have a look online. You can download that for free just to learn more about experiences. So let's say you've now you've developed your experience. How are you going to market it? Remember, so this is the connection between your brand and your product or holiday and your memories. So here, your brand is telling people what to expect. So your brand is saying, you will experience these fantastic, memorable experiences. And then, of course, you go on your holiday, and you have some good times, and you have stress, and various different things. But then, when you come home, the thing that you remember are these memorable experiences. And partly, I'm terrible. Yeah. But partly, the reason you remember these is because that was what was in the brand. So your brand, your marketing before the holiday, tells people what to expect, and therefore you need to make it interesting for people, and you make it interesting by telling them about the experiences they will have, not, with respect, some of the boring parts, like catching transportation. So here's an example to me of, in Queensland, linking the brand to the experience. So what Queensland is trying to say to customers is, if you, or at least to domestic visitors, is come to Queensland, it's not just a holiday, you're learning about perhaps a slightly different way of life. People in Australia or in Queensland are perhaps more relaxed, and you can see that through this picture, where you see some of the attractions, but the attraction or the activity is presented in a funny way, because that's connected to the brand of Queensland and what it means to be a Queenslander. So Australians and Queenslanders, we like to think of ourselves as a little bit funny, humorous, and a little bit creative and things. So maybe that's what you're seeing in that picture. So what you're trying to do is create a promise, an image or a brand which establishes the kind of experience that the visitor can expect from the destination. It should be done in an emotional way, okay? They should see in the pictures and the marketing material emotion. They should feel emotion when they're looking at it. And importantly, it should be something which is authentic to the residents. It shouldn't be just made up. It should. So when I look at that picture of the two, the man and the boy, I think, yes, that's what Queensland is like to me. It's authentic. And it should lead to memorable experiences. Thank you. So here's one. What about this? You like this? A koala having a massage. Oh, isn't that nice? So this is taking an icon for Australia and trying to use it to create a picture of maybe luxury and relaxation. Using the koala to sell wellness, perhaps. So what's another problem? Our problem then is, how do we take our traditional products? What's a traditional product for Australia? Surfing. Who would like to go surfing? Some young people, yeah. The problem for us in Australia is that people from mainland China often can't swim, which is a problem. And also, they don't like going in the sun, because that might make them less beautiful. So, and yet, when I was on the Gold Coast, I would see people from China coming and walking along the beach. They wouldn't go swimming, but they'd go walking on the beach. It was very interesting, you know, and they'd spend a lot of time there. There was some reason why people from China went to the beach, and it seemed important to them. What was the reason? Well, I think it's because so much of the image of Australia is about Australian culture, and much Australian culture is connected to the beach. So what was happening is these Chinese people want to learn about Australia. They go to the beach because when they look at movies, that's what they see. Okay? And so, but we were selling them surfing. There was a mismatch. People were interested in the beach for culture, but we were selling them activity. So we had to change the product. We had to move from our traditional products to experiences that Chinese people might like. So now we don't sell surfing, we sell jump and splash, right? Where you can have the adventure of going in the water. Huh? Or perhaps even just walking along the beach. And then this one, see the crab? Who'd like crab? Yeah? You know, that is the most popular product experience that you can buy on the Gold Coast. Catch a crab. And you go on a boat and you catch a crab fresh from the water, you bring it on the boat and you cook it and eat it. For me, that's very strange. That is very strange. Huh? I couldn't imagine why someone from China would want to do that. But it's the most popular product. Or fishing. Because I can do that any day. I don't like it, but I could. So what I'm talking about is changing what you have as a tourism product to match what your customers want. And I don't think the people in China are changing what they sell to match Western tastes. And I don't know about Taiwan, but perhaps one of the issues is attracting Australians might mean you have to change your product to be more FIT and more experiential and offer different things from what you're offering at the moment. Mm-hmm. So that's a little bit about marketing, but basing your marketing on the right products or services or experiences. So just another thing, if you want to do marketing in any discipline, in any field, banking, tourism, whatever, is an analytical discipline. It is not about doing things because you feel like it. Marketing is about knowing how your customers are going to respond and measuring how they're responding. And even designing your marketing material so that you know it works before it starts. So now you should not design a marketing campaign without testing it beforehand. And that's easy. So here's an example of testing that we're doing in Australia for websites. And it works on the fact that your eyes, so girls, women in the audience, look around and see if you can see any attractive men. Right? Okay? And I can tell who you find attractive by how long you look at them. Scary, isn't it? You know, they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That's what we say in Australia. So I can tell by using some equipment that tells where you're looking on a website, I can tell which part of the advertisement or the website that you like and find interesting and what you find confusing. And therefore, I can think about how to improve that website to make it more effective. So the internet is really good for, or websites and new technology is really good for improving your marketing effectiveness. Thank you. So this is just an example of how we're using eye tracking to look at these were printed brochures, and the red shows where people are looking on a page. And you can do the same thing for your websites. So briefly, I want to talk then about Australian city branding. I'll go through pretty quickly because I'm going to get into trouble in a minute. One thing, and I'm not sure about Taiwan, but in Australia, the organisation of your marketing is really important. And there's been a lot of work done to make sure that the national level marketing and the state level marketing and the regional or city level marketing are in some way related. So in Australia, we have some integration between the marketing activities at a national level, state level, and regional level, and we call that Brand Australia. So Brand Australia is some way of promoting Australia, or the brand of Australia, and some of the images or feeling or pictures for Australia connect to the same things at a regional or state level. So Brand Australia is a brand that is agreed by stakeholders. It's not something that the government comes up with by itself. It requires people to talk amongst themselves, collect research, and make decisions about the brand based on consensus and good research. So it also involves a strategic plan where the industry and government get together to do the marketing, and they agree together the objectives. Typically, government is more supplying money, and industry is helping to determine direction, but in order to make sure that the industry thinks it's a good idea, the industry is expected to contribute money. So it's the government providing some money and the businesses providing money to develop one marketing campaign and agree objectives and targets and so on. So Tourism Australia coordinates branding. It just doesn't do it all. And there are significant funds available from government. Why? Because the government knows that if they give money to promote tourism and tourism gets more visitors, the visitors will pay tax and the government will get more tax. So that's what we call cooperative marketing. Cooperative marketing is, it's not the government doing something or an individual business doing something. That's inefficient. The most efficient way is to work cooperatively together. Here's some examples of how brand reflects experience. So here from New Zealand is not part of Australia. Right? You may think that, but they're not. But here you see the branding which reflects some experiences. Okay? This is. Can we see if we can play this one? I really like this. This is, again, not from Australia, but it's about using humour to promote Switzerland. So this is a man in the mountain, sitting at his laptop, and he's actually, you see him on a billboard in a station, and you can go and talk to him. And he's talking to people, and he invites them to come to his mountain. So he's inviting people, and if they say yes, then he gives them a ticket, and they come to visit his place.
Heute habe ich nie die Zeit. No, I'm saying, komm zu dem.
Jetzt gerade.
Das ist ein bisschen spontan. Danke vielmals.
Es müsste einfach um den Zug.
Okay. Ja, dann Sie mit meinem Chef reden.
Ja, donderdag klinkt al uurtje, dat is niet zo wichtig met je zeven. 0, 4, 4.
4, 4, 6.
7 man, daar gaat de namiddag niet scholen. Dan gaan die auf die rechnen.
Ich weiß es nicht.
Dat is met kindergrippen dan. In de 40 stond van de Zug.
Shit.
Dat is lang dran nog.
Also wir bis nachher.
En dan gaan we weer.
Ja, ist gut.
Bis nachher.
Also wir kommen.
Hey, super. Ja, dat is super.
Tschüss.
Hey, ciao. Ja, hallo.
And then they arrived.
Wat reizen?
Ja?
Ja, dat is goed.
Okay, thank you. So, to me, that's an advertisement that is engaging. It's getting me interested, partly because it's creative and funny. Mhm. So, branding, remember, Queensland is the best part of Australia. We've got a number of different things, a number of attractions. We'll go through this fairly quickly. Next. Interestingly, Queensland is so big, it has a number of different destinations. Cairns, who's been to Cairns, Great Barrier Reef, is very different to Gold Coast, beach and sand. So we have to market and produce experiences that are different in North Queensland and Cairns from the south. That's how I got into all this branding idea, right? And I wonder, I don't know, I wonder if there are different destinations in Taiwan. I don't know. You can't tell that until you do research with your potential visitors. Probably it may not be, but if there are people from mainland China who have already come once and know that Taiwan has parts, then maybe you need to start to promote one part of Taiwan to get them to come back. This is one way we were doing marketing. You've heard of this? Social marketing, viral marketing. Thank you. Brisbane. How did we develop the brand for Brisbane? Brisbane is interesting because it hasn't really got a unique, iconic attraction. It's a fairly ordinary city. A very beautiful city. You should come. But nothing really unusual. So the brand of Brisbane is around being friendly and relaxed city. It's a capital city. And we developed a brand based on events and entertainment targeting the people who live in the regional area around Brisbane, because they're the people who we could influence. We called it Brisbane City of Sundays because it was about communicating that Brisbane is a great place to go and relax and have entertainment and events. So can we try this one? This was done in 1998.
Tomorrow, Brisbane will be warm and sunny.
Can we turn up the volume?
And tomorrow, Brisbane will be warm and sunny.
It's not so loud, unfortunately. So the idea is these are all the attractions that people might be interested in seeing in Brisbane.
And tomorrow, Brisbane will be warm and sunny.
And we're using a bit of humour to get people's attention.
And tomorrow, Brisbane will be warm and sunny. Don't you just love it? Brisbane, City of Sundays.
So that brand ad was targeting Australians who live near Brisbane to come to Brisbane. And you know what happened? We did that ad and we showed it to the mayor of Brisbane and he hated it. Hated it. And that was because he wanted a more sophisticated image for Brisbane. So could we play the next one? So what they did, they took the same, essentially the same pictures, but made this.
Brisbane, your entertainment capital.
Okay, so what we had to do was use essentially the same resources, events and dining and other things, but make it into a different type of feeling. The mayor wanted a more exciting and sophisticated nightlife image. So we took essentially the same product, but branded it in a different way. Do you see what I mean? So branding is about understanding what your resources are, but then thinking about how you present it to your target market. So another thing to do that we've done in Brisbane is to use events for branding. So one of the things that they've done to try and create an image for Brisbane, which is more interesting, is to use major events like Commonwealth Games, 1988 Expo, and then later, when there was a mayor of Brisbane who wanted more international city, they used G20, which to create a more global picture, more financial, more serious. So again, it's using events to present the image of the city that you want. So, I've covered a lot of ground, and I'm sorry I've had to talk so quickly, but it's a very interesting and important topic. I didn't get a chance, but I was going to get you to look at some of the current marketing for Taiwan and get you to think about it in these terms. In the marketing that you see that you have developed for Taiwan at the moment, what are the major world-class attractions or experiences that you're showing to people? I think that's really important for you to think about. I don't know enough about the marketing here, but I would encourage you to look at your existing marketing and think, is this something which is, am I showing people things which are unique, interesting for visitors, and unable to be duplicated by a competitor? And those things are hard to find. And arguably in Taiwan, there may be one or two or three of them. Well, I better go. So anyways, thank you very much for all your attention. I hope you found it interesting. 谢谢。
非常谢谢我们的 First Scott 带来这么精彩的分享。Many thanks for giving us a wonderful speech. 好，那接下来的时间呢，我们来请我们的工作人员来把我们的沙发搬到我们的台上。好，那相信呢，在刚刚这么精彩的分享之后呢，大家一定心中有很多的问题，希望可以跟我们的讲者来请教与互动。那我们现在就借由这个机会呢，让大家可以来想一下，待会想要请问我们讲者哪些问题。那接下来的时间呢，我们就把时间交给我们今天 Q&A 的主持人，我们台湾观光协会的苏成田苏副会长来担任我们的主持人，掌声有请。
Thank you, Professor Scott, for your very inspiring speech. I think we learned a lot from you, and especially about the experience bring the emotional experience is very important part that we have to think more about how to create a new product for our visitors, yeah. And also you talk. A very important part is the branding, the brand creatives, yeah. So since we have simultaneous translation, so that I will invite our audience here to go to the Q&A session, and I also to use my mother language, Chinese, to invite the audience to have the questions, yeah. So 现在呢，就是请各位来提问哈。那刚才的演讲里头哈，那么有一些东西，当然各位可能都熟悉，从团体变成个人，然后这个期望新的体验哈。但是呢，这个Professor Scott 里面所提到的东西呢，可能有一些东西我们还是想得做得不够到位哈，尤其在体验这一块哈，我们应该要发挥更多的创意。那第二个就是目的地行销这一块。那刚才他简单的几张这个 slides 秀出来，就是说。品牌旅游地品牌行销这一块来讲，是从这个联邦政府到邦政府到地方政府，大家一体，这个业界这个大家要共同来一起努力的哈。尤其在这个地方，我稍微重复一下，它有一张很重要的这个 slides 哦，他说观光的品牌是一种承诺。承诺什么东西呢？承诺就是你游客到这儿来，你真的可以体验到我所告诉你的这些东西。那么也就是说，游客可以期待，而且他也真正能够体验到哈。所以当你行销的时候，你说出来的东西，你讲出来的东西，你要做到。第二个，他也提到就是说，观光的品牌这个是 emotional， 是要。投入感情是可以让游客从有感的哈，那这一块。另外一个就是说，这个很重要，大家的概念哦。观光的品牌这一块来讲，它是叫做 authentic and believed by resident， 也就是说，观光的东西是全民的事情，人人心中有观光，就是我们会长提到的。你游客他来到这个地方会碰到当地的人，那对于你行销的品牌这个部分，如果我们的游客我们的居民都没有办法认同的时候，他是没有办法去真正的用心的来欢迎这些游客了哈。所以他一定是游客跟居民一定也是认同的一个东西。那最重就是说，它能够导致游客有非常这个难忘的一个旅游体验。那我们就要去思考一下，我们台湾在这一块，不管从整个台湾的行销品牌到地方到各市镇，也都有他自己的市场对象嘛。我们到底做对了没有？那我相信各位应该有很多的问题，那我把这个时间呢就留给各位啊。刚才已经有一位在那边举手，那就请你发言。
Hello, Dr. Scott. I'm Harrison Lee, from the Tourist Guide Association. I was very impressed by your accent speech. Covered a whole lot of things. I have a question for you. It's about the international tourists that we're looking for. How would you suggest we brand? You see, our market is an international market. Like you said, if you focus on only a certain market, you will study. But how would you be able to cover the international tourists from different countries? Give an example with the tourists from China, Japan, South Korea. Also, is adopt New South policy. We cover 18 countries, including Australia and New Zealand. and others nationality, Macau, Hong Kong. So how would you brand Taiwan? I understand that Brisbane is the beach, right? How would you say the Taiwan? Sorry.
That's well, firstly, thank you for being impressed with my talk. I appreciate that. I may be invited back, which is good. Look, branding is a hard thing. If it was easy, you know, everyone would do it. And it takes time. You can't expect to develop and brand and have it done quickly. It's going to take you 3 years, 5 years to come up with an idea, your brand position, perhaps test it in the marketplace, develop your material and do it. But even more importantly, it's about getting people to talk together and agree on it. It's not me. I mean, I can come up with great ideas, but that's not the problem. The problem is for you people to agree. That's what I think you're beginning today. You're getting people to start thinking about the strategic issues that are facing Taiwan. And you can get all the advice you need, but it has to suit. But here's an example. And it's not about branding Taiwan, it's about branding Taichung City, because I happened to be there this morning. And you know, it's very interesting, because I was just reading a brochure, and I found that Taichung City was the home of bicycles. Who would have known? Huh? Yes. But giant, yeah. Big company. Now, how would you use bicycles to create a world-class attraction to promote Taichung City? Okay, well, I'm lucky because I can just imagine things. Okay, I don't have to do them. But I was thinking, where would you, what would be a brand related to bicycles where you could use it to attract people to Taichung City? Okay, Tour de France. Okay, so the Tour de France is a global event, let's say a global brand related to bicycles, and which is also related to lifestyle and is attractive to people. And so if you were targeting Western people from Europe and you wanted them to know about Taichung City and see an activity which fitted with the city, maybe you talk to the Tour de France people and say, run the first stage of your Tour de France in Taiwan. And you get the bicycle people to help you pay for it. Okay? So that would be an example of a win-win, where you have something which is authentic and connected to Taichung City, which is now, and the idea here is there are two ways of creating a brand. One is to spend a lot of money in developing your own brand. Think of Nike shoes. Now, Nike spend a lot of money on developing the brand of Nike, but they associate themselves with Michael Jordan, who's a famous brand by himself. So perhaps by associating Taiwan with some other famous brands, you can create the awareness of Taiwan to begin with. But you have to know the general area you want to do it in. Lifestyle or something, I don't know. Anyway, that's just some ideas. And if you use that idea and make a lot of money from it, you have to give me 10%. Okay? I'll shake hands later.
好，我想各位应该了解他解释的意思哈。那事实上也等一下也可以启发一下哈，就是说我们过去10几年来，我们也有一个行销台湾的品牌名称啦哈。那但是就是目前来讲哈，是不是能够获得大家的认同跟产生的效果哈这一块啊？大家也可以思考一下哈，也可以来请教他。等一下我们再来看，先从下面的大家的问题来继续提问。有没有哪位？没有，好，那位有一位，来。是啊。
艺文活动简直就是非常丰富，就是眼花缭乱。但我觉得最大的问题是整合，就是可能单位之间的整合，或者是就是说怎么样让它可以整体成为一个大的品牌。那我觉得台北目前可能是台湾各个城市里面做的算是比较丰富，因为资源最丰富最多，也许也是最多钱或是什么的，很多原因嘛。因为我在大陆工作。那我每次回来，我都觉得台湾有很多值得让我感动的事情。那我刚听完这些教授的演讲，我觉得其实站在一个西方人的角度的眼光来看台湾，才是我觉得最有趣的事情。就是我自己看台湾，我觉得感动，可是其他人会吗？那南部人看台北，他会感动吗？还是只有我，因为我住在台北，所以我会感动？所以这个是一个问题。或者是因为大陆人很喜欢台湾，为什么？因为他们觉得台湾人很亲切。可是西方人看台湾会觉得亲切吗？还是觉得有什么样的就是不同的角度？其实，刚刚教授讲到一个很重要的点，是我们了解我们的客人是什么样的态度或心情来观光台湾的嘛？其实我觉得这一点倒是我想问教授，站在您的立场，站在一个澳洲人的立场，或者是一个昆士兰人的立场，怎么去看亚洲各个国家之间？你觉得台湾在这亚洲的地区里面，到底对你来说有什么样的让你 impress 的地方？
Yes. A couple of comments. Firstly, I think you're right that every. Are you from Taipei? Yeah. Okay. It shows. I think like me, I'm very proud of Brisbane. Okay? And I have spoken to people in small cities in Queensland. And they all say, my city is the best part of Queensland. Right? Everyone thinks that. So it's always true that the city thinks it's important, but that's not important, unfortunately. It's good, but it's not important. You have to understand what the visitor thinks. Now, unfortunately, the further you go from a place, the less people know about it, okay? But if you go once, you learn more about it, and if you go twice, you learn more and more and more. I would think that people in Australia know, well, probably not my son and daughter, they're terrible, but they would many people would know where Taiwan is, often from the news, and not always in a good way, right? And I don't think that they would know, they may know Taipei, they may not know much about it, right? Unless they've been to a Taiwanese restaurant in Australia, and then they might know a little bit about the food. So, firstly, although a small city in Queensland thinks it's the best place, doesn't matter. You have to understand what the people in Australia are thinking. Now, you're asking me to represent all people in Australia. And I think that's a bit unfair. But I think that, so my general feeling is they know very little about Taiwan. And certainly my first trip, I've been here twice now, once several years ago, and I mainly went to Taipei, and I didn't go to the inland area, to the mountains. The last time, 3 times, sorry. The second time, which was only 2 months ago, I went to more mountain areas, and I found them very interesting. They were more natural, and it was a part of Taiwan that I didn't know anything about. So, in answer to your question in general, the average Australian knows not much about Taiwan, and they probably don't have a good reason to come at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm never going to come back.
这点到我们台湾在世界行销上面的难题啦。台湾呢，大家世界的人讲台湾，除了以前会误会说台湾是 Thailand， 这样误会之外，现在因为我们的在各地的行销宣传做得很多，所以现在说听到台湾，它误会成是 Thailand 的情形可能比较少一点。可是对台湾到底有什么东西，还是不太了解了哈。那当然，我们的观光局的宣传品牌，那么现在是叫做 Taiwan, the Heart of Asia。那这个部分传达的意向呢，就是说，可能说台湾的地理位置是在亚洲的中心，有没有说服力呢？各位这个可能我们自己有没有共识？第二个就是外国人会不会认同？那么在这样一个的品牌名称之下，到底能不能打动他们的心，愿意到台湾来探索一下，这个是值得探讨。那在 The Heart of Asia 之前，我们的品牌名称叫做 Taiwan Touch Your Heart。那么台湾一个感动你的地方，或者是台湾感动你的心，那这个是我们在2010年之前用的品牌。那么我想请教这个 Professor Scott，Dr. Scott， 如果由你来评论的话，那么 Taiwan the Heart of Asia 跟 Taiwan Touch Your Heart。你的感觉上面来讲，哪一个品牌会让你比较产生好奇跟期待？
Thank you. Okay. Well, the heart of Asia means 2 things. One is geographical location. It's very. I don't think that's a particularly motivating reason to come to a place. Maybe you mean it's convenient, or it's easy to get to something. So you need to translate that into some benefit for the customer. And Heart of Asia, maybe that Heart of Asia means that it's easy for Koreans or Japanese or Asian countries to come, but it's not so much true for Australians, okay? The heart, the friendliness, well, that's good, but that's a very generic feature. And many countries, I mean, I don't think any country in the world would say they are unfriendly. except the French.
Yes, right. The other brand.
Anyone from France here?
No. Let me explain to you about the current branding. The brand that we use in last more than 10 years. That from the year of 2002 to 2010, we have a brand name called Taiwan. Touch Your Heart. That's a very emotional one.
Well, no. You think it's emotional. I'm not so sure. What does that mean for me?
Yes, that's right.
I'm not sure what it means for me. Or are there ways that you can communicate to me how you're going to touch my heart? What are the experiences or the activities or something which will allow me to experience my heart being touched? Do you know?
Yeah,
so it's a very general thing.
Yeah, that's we need to make more effort to let people know that really that why we brand our destination is a place that people you visit here you can really experiencing something that can touch your heart. Of course, it started from the friendliness of our people. But besides the friendliness of people, actually, many things that people can also, many things that people can experience and also touch your heart. For instance, the Taiwanese cuisine, food.
Oh yeah.
Okay, or the gorgeous scenic places like Taroko Gorge, because it's very fantastic and gorgeous place, landscapes for the people. When you see a nice landscape, actually you will be touched by the beauty of the nature. Yeah, that is important also. Yeah.
So an example of a country which is using friendliness. Fiji. So Fiji, the people are very friendly, but the way they promote it, they attract a lot of visitors from Australia with families. And so they show the people in Fiji being friendly to families and especially to children. So that's a way of communicating safety and support for families. So that's important to families. They want to feel that their children and their whole family will be in a friendly environment. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that's the friendly position. But related to a need of the customer. Okay, and I'm unsure of what the need of the customer that you're talking about related to Heart of Asia.
这个话题当然很多讨论的哈。那从他的刚才的讨论当中，他对于用友善这种东西，或者是所谓的感动你的地方这些。来讲，他也感觉不太能够很理解了哈。那这个部分就是我们台湾品牌设定上面的一个课题。那他也不是很认同的认为说，The Heart of Asia 是能够有效的去让比较长程的客人去这个吸引他们到这儿来。那他说，也许是针对亚洲地区的什么韩国、日本来讲，但我个人来讲的话，我的感觉就是可能更难获得我们周边地区人的认同，因为就像我个人对马来西亚的这个品牌叫做马来西亚 Truly Asia， 我才不认同马来西亚是真正代表亚洲嘞。对不对？所以呢，这个品牌的规划呢、设计啊，是非常难的一件事情。但是我认为，这也是我们今后要面对的课题了哈。那我不晓得还有没有，我们还有没有在场还有要问的问题？ 如果没有的话呢，我们的今天的时间也差不多到这个地方，这个该告一个段落。那这个我们再一次用热烈掌声来感谢啊，这个 Professor Scott。Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
好，非常谢谢 Prof Scott 今天带来那么精彩的演讲。好，再度用热烈掌声，谢谢 Prof Scott。